Welcome to the channel JF Coin World of Coin Collecting, where one tiny mistake at the mint can turn a cent into treasure. Today, we're diving deep into the 1955 Lincoln wheat penny, its history, its secrets, its value, and what to watch out for. Stay tuned, because what we're about to uncover might blow your mind. Open book background and history. Let's go back in time. The 1955 penny belongs to a series known as the wheat pennies. Small cents that carry on the legacy of early U.S. coinage, but with a twist. Instead of Lady Liberty, you have a portrait of a U.S. president, the famous face of Abraham Lincoln, on the obverse, and twin wheat stalks on the reverse. This design was a nod to simpler times, agriculture, and the roots of American economy. Userkenbook.com +2 Antiques Know-How +2 In 1955, millions upon millions of these pennies were minted. The regular 1955 penny was produced in enormous quantities, meaning most are common and not particularly special. Cointrackers.com +2 rarest.org +2 But even among so many, there lurks a rare and fascinating twist, a minting error that would turn some into legendary collector's items. Magnifying glass tilted left. The twist, errors, and why some 1955 pennies are gold. Here's where the magic happens. Among the 1955 pennies, a small number were struck with a defect, a double die, on the obverse, front, of the coin. This error, known as the 1955 double die obverse, DDO, caused letters, the date, and the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust to appear doubled. It's not subtle. With the naked eye, or a magnifying glass, collectors often see a clear shadow doubling of letters. Antiques Know-How +2 CoinValueLookup.com +2 Why it happened. Minting is a mechanical process. Dies strike blanks to imprint the design. If a die shifts slightly between strikes or is misaligned during preparation, doubling can occur. In 1955, that mistake, misaligned strike, produced a coin that would become legendary. Some estimates suggest that only 20,000 to 24,000 of these error pennies ever made it into circulation among the millions produced that year. Quellaparis.com +2 Antiques Know-How +2 Because of this rarity plus the dramatic visual doubling plus the popularity of the Lincoln wheat penny series, the 1955 DDO penny is often considered one of the most coveted error coins in U.S. numismatics. CoinValueLookup.com +2 Antiques Know-How +2 There are also other, more normal 1955 pennies, minted at different mints, with mint marks like D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mark for Philadelphia, but those don't carry the same cachet unless an extremely high grade. Userkenbook.com +2 CoinValueLookup.com +$2 banknote value. What they're worth in 2025 if you found a regular circulated 1955 penny, one that's been used in shows where you're looking at roughly 15 cents to 20 to 30 cents, face value plus a bit from copper or collector interest. Cointrackers.com +2 rarest.org +2 uncirculated 1955 pennies, in mint condition but without any error, might fetch as little as $1 or $2, maybe more depending on toning and condition. Userkenbook.com +2 CoinValueLookup.com +2 But here's the kicker. If you have a genuine 1955 double die obverse penny, especially in high grade and nice color/toning, you might be holding something extremely valuable. Some of these have historically sold for thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars depending on condition, hue, red, brown, copper, etc., and certification. CoinValueLookup.com +2 Antiques Know-How +2 That's why many collectors keep their eyes peeled. One tiny piece of spare change could be hiding a treasure. Warning, caution, and challenges. Buyers, watch out, because rare penny stories are alluring, and because pennies are cheap to get, there are plenty of counterfeits and fakes out there. Fake 1955 double dies, or coins altered to look like them, do exist. Reddit +2 That's why serious collectors and auction houses insist on professional grading/authentication by trusted numismatic grading services before paying big money. Without certification, even a visually convincing coin might be worthless as far as market value is concerned. Also, many 1955 pennies are very common. Unless it has the doubling error or is in near-perfect uncirculated condition, it's unlikely to be worth more than $1 or $2 at most. So, find a coin, but don't assume it's gold just by being old. Direct hit: why 1955 pennies still matter. In 2025, even nearly 70 years later, the 1955 Lincoln wheat penny continues to fascinate coin collectors. Here's why. It sits at the intersection of common everyday coinage and rare minting error, meaning ordinary people might still find one in their change and unknowingly discover a collectible gem. The history, the design featuring Lincoln, the wheat-backed design, the era of post-war America, gives physical, tangible connection to past decades. The market still values authenticity, condition, and rarity. A genuine, well-preserved 1955 DDO penny remains one of the holy grails. For some collectors, it's a great example, for beginners and seasoned collectors, of how small mistakes at the mint can yield big value. Also, because the regular pennies are common, many people overlook old pennies, which makes finding a rare variety like the 1955 DDO even more exciting. Direct hit: what to do if you have a 1955 penny, or many? If you suspect you have a 1955 penny, or several, and want to check if you might be sitting on a treasure, here's what you should do. Inspect carefully. Use a magnifying glass or loupe. Look at the date, the word "Liberty, in God we trust," and check for visible doubling, ghost-like doubling, on letters and numbers. That doubling is the hallmark of a DDO. Check the mint mark. On 1955 pennies it matters. Philadelphia equals no mark, Denver equals D, San Francisco equals S. Most famous double dies come from Philadelphia, no mint mark. CoinValueLookup.com +2 Antiques know-how +2 Assess the condition. Coins in extremely fine or uncirculated condition, with clear details and nice coloring, are more valuable. Get professional authentication/grading if you think it's a rare error. That's when real value comes in. Reputable grading services give credibility, which matters a lot for potential buyers or auctions. Store it carefully. If it seems special, keep it safe. Avoid handling too much. Protect it from damage, dust, moisture, or scratches. Conclusion. The magic of a small CNT. The 1955 Lincoln wheat penny is a coin that reminds us history, craftsmanship, and even mistakes matter. A humble 1-cent coin can carry a story of American economy, of minting errors, of surprises hidden in everyday items. For collectors, that's where the thrill lies. So next time you find an old penny, maybe in piggy bank, maybe in a drawer, don't toss it. Take a closer look. That tiny coin might be more than metal. It might be history. It might be value. It might, just maybe, be your ticket to a sweet collector's prize. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, and let me know in the comments. Have you ever found an old penny you suspected could be valuable? Drop a photo in the replies. See you next time, and keep hunting those hidden treasures. Oncoming fist if you like. I can also draft 3 to 4 different script styles for this topic, e.g. dramatic mystery style, educational documentary style, fun casual YouTuber style. Do you want me to create those for you right away? Today, we're diving deep into the history, design, and real market value of the 1952 wheat penny, and why some are truly worth holding on to. By the end of this video, you might look at your old change jar and see dollar signs. Money bag, mantelpiece, clock, history, and background. What is the 1952 wheat penny? The 1952 penny is part of the beloved wheat penny line. Pennies bearing the portrait of President Lincoln on the front and 2 classic wheat stalks on the back. This design ran from 1909 until 1958. Manishmarket.org +2 LincolnWheatpenny.com +2 The designer was Victor David Brenner. His work gave us the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. CoinValueLookup.com +1 The wheat stalk. Reverse gave the series its nickname, Wheat Penny, or Wheat Cent. CoinValueLookup.com +1 In 1952, the distribution among mints was Philadelphia, no mint mark, about 186,775,000 coins. Rarest.org +1 Denver, DE mint mark, about 746,130,000 coins, largest share. rarest.org +1 San Francisco, S. mint mark. About 137,800,004 coins rarest.org +1 combined. This means over 1.07 billion coins were minted in 1952. Numismatics 101 +1 Because of this massive production, 1952 pennies are common in the sense that many exist, yet that doesn't mean all are worthless. Magnifying glass tilt to left. What does the coin look like? How to recognize a 1952 wheat penny. When you hold a 1952 wheat penny, on the front obverse, you'll see the bust of Lincoln, with inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1952. CoinValueLookup.com +1 On the back, reverse, you'll see two wheat stalks flanking the denomination, 1 cent, and United States of America, plus the motto, E Pluribus Unum. CoinValueLookup.com +1 If there's a small letter just below the date on the front, that's your mint mark, D for Denver, S for San Francisco. No letter means Philadelphia. Tokac +1 Its composition, mostly copper, with small amounts of tin and zinc, weighing about 3.11 grams, diameter 19 mm, standard for wheat pennies of the era. Rarest.org +1 So visually it's simple, but subtle differences, mark, condition, color, can make huge differences in value. Dollar banknote value. What's a 1952 penny worth? Today and in rare cases, here's where it gets interesting. Because over a billion were made, many 1952 pennies are common and not very valuable. But under the right conditions, high grade, proof, mint errors, the value can skyrocket. Typical value, circulated/common condition. Most 1952 pennies in average circulated condition, like what you might still find in change jars, are worth basically their face value, a few cents up to maybe 25 cents. Rarest.org +2 LincolnWheatpenny.com +2 Even some uncirculated or ungraded ones. Many sources list them as roughly 15 cents to $3.5 depending on where. Rarest.org +2 Tokac +2 Higher value. Uncirculated, mint state, condition matters if you have a well-preserved, uncirculated 1952 penny, especially with original reddish or brownish color, minimal wear, strong detail, value increases. Certain guides list high-end uncirculated coins reaching $20 to $45 or more depending on grade and eye appeal. Cointrackers.com +2 Ned Ludd coins +2 for specially graded coins, e.g. with certification by professional grading services. The premium can be substantial, because collectors value. Perfect examples. Numismatics 101 +2 LincolnWheatpenny.com +2 Rare and high-end specimens. Why some sell for hundreds or thousands. This is where the penny becomes gold metaphor kicks in. Some proof coins or exceptionally well-preserved mint-state coins, with deep original color, no flaws, excellent strike, from 1952 have sold for many thousands of dollars at auctions. For example, a 1952 proof wheat penny, deep cameo, reportedly fetched a jaw-dropping $64,625 in 2021. Rarest.org +1 Regular, non-proof, 1952 coins graded MS67 or higher, top mint-state coins, have also brought big prices, sometimes thousands of dollars depending on eye appeal, toning, and collector demand. CoinValueLookup.com +2 LincolnWheatpenny.com +2 Even some error varieties, like off-center strikes, die cracks, or other minting anomalies, can be of interest to collectors and sometimes fetch higher than average value. LincolnWheatpenny.com +2 Cointrackers.com +2 Direct hit. Why some people call 1952 wheat pennies hidden treasures. Because of the huge number minted, many are common, which makes good condition, high grade, uncirculated, or error coins stand out as rare. The nostalgia factor. The wheat penny design, Lincoln plus wheat stalks, is iconic and beloved by many collectors. It reflects a bygone era in U.S. coinage. The dramatic value spread, from almost nothing, a few cents, to tens of thousands of dollars. You never know what you might have until you examine the coin carefully. Mint mark plus condition plus strike plus color plus possible errors. The thrill of possibility. Maybe that old penny in your drawer isn't just spare change. Maybe it's a collector's gem. Why have you checkmark what to do if you have a 1952 penny? Tips and advice if you happen to own a 1952 wheat penny, or mini. Inspect the mint mark under a magnifying glass. Is it DES or none? That helps classify it. Denver, San Francisco, Philadelphia. Check condition carefully. Look at wear on Lincoln's portrait, the date, lettering, the wheat stalks on reverse. Sharp detail, clear lettering, full color, reddish/brown or original tone, all boost value. Consider grading and certification if the coin looks top tier. Almost nowhere. Great strike. Getting it graded by a reputable coin grading service can dramatically increase its market value. Don't ignore minor flaws, sometimes errors, like off-center strikes, die cracks, or repunched mint marks, make a coin collectible in their own right. Compare it to market history. Resist hype that all 1952 pennies are worth big money. Most remain common and inexpensive. Only top grade/collectible pieces demand high prices. Microphone suggested video structure and flow. You could structure your video like this for maximum engagement. Intro plus hook. Show a 1952 penny. Ask, is this junk or treasure? Brief history plus background. Design. Why wheat pennies matter. 1952 mintage data. How to recognize and inspect. Mint marks. Design details. What to look for. Typical versus rare value. Chart or visual breakdown. Common. Cents. Nice uncirculated. Tens of dollars. High grade/proof. Hundreds to thousands. Real auction stories and extreme examples. Mention the big sales. Like deep cameo proof for tens of thousands. Tips for coin owners and collectors. How to check, care, possibly get graded. Caution against scam/hyped values. Conclusion plus call to action. Encourage viewers to dig through old change jars, share their coins, subscribe for coin hunt adventures. Light bulb final thoughts. Is 1952 penny worth $42 or more? Short answer, maybe, if it's the right coin. If the 1952 penny you hold is just a regular circulated coin, chances are it's worth just a few cents. Maybe up to $1 or $2. But if it's a well-preserved uncirculated specimen, or a rare proof, or shows unusual minting errors, it can be worth much more, sometimes tens, hundreds, or even thousands of dollars to the right buyer. So yes, that ultra-classic 1952 penny could be worth $42, or $100, or far beyond. It all comes down to condition, rarity, and demand. If you want, I can build a full ready-to-record script for you, with time-coded segments, on-camera prompts, and voice-over text. Do you want me to build that for you now? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most collectible and intriguing pennies ever minted, the 1940 Lincoln wheat penny. Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know why some call it just a penny, and why others value it as a rare treasure. Clapperboard. What is the 1940 wheat penny? The 1940 wheat penny is part of the famed Wheat Cent series, coins minted in the United States between 1909 and 1958, featuring the profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front, and 2 stalks of wheat on the back. Userkinbook.com+2 Coinsandcollections.com+2 It was designed by Victor D. Brenner. Cointrackers.com+1 The coin weighs about 3.11 grams, with a diameter of 19 millimeters. Userkinbook.com+1 In 1940, the U.S. Mint struck these pennies in 3 main versions depending on where they were made. Philadelphia. No mint mark under the date. Most common. LincolnWheatpenny.com+1 Denver. D mint mark. Less common but still abundant. LincolnWheatpenny.com+1 San Francisco. S mint mark. Another common variant from that year. LincolnWheatpenny.com+1 Because hundreds of millions were minted, many 1940 pennies have survived, making them common in some grades, but potentially valuable in high-quality or rare condition forms. Cointrackers.com+2 Coinsandcollections.com+2 Scroll why it holds historical and collector interest. The wheat penny design, Lincoln plus wheat ears, marked the first time a U.S. circulating coin featured a real president, a major shift in coin design and American numismatic history. The 1940 pennies were minted just before the turmoil of World War II that would see significant changes in coinage. For example, During the war, the U.S. would briefly produce steel cents due to copper shortages. Jacksonville Journal Courier +1 for coin collectors, numismatists. Pieces like the 1940 wheat penny serve as a tangible connection to mid-20th century America, pre-war economics, everyday currency circulation, and national heritage. Because of this dual identity, common coin plus historical artifact, the 1940 wheat penny sits at an interesting crossroads. Ordinary enough to be found in jars or change rolls, yet occasionally rare and valuable depending on condition and variety. Dollar banknote, what's it actually worth? 1940 wheat penny value, 2025 market overview. Here's the truth. Most 1940 wheat pennies are worth only a little more than face value, maybe a few pennies, or a couple of dollars. But under the right conditions, their value skyrockets. Let's break down how value varies. Why heavy checkmark common/circulated 1940 pennies? A typical 1940 penny, no mint mark, Philadelphia. An average circulated condition might be worth about 18 to 52 cents. Cointrackers.com +3 Yuzukanbook.com +3 Coinsandcollections.com +3 1940D, Denver, or 1940s, San Francisco. Versions generally don't command much more in worn condition, often just cents to a few dollars. Yuzukanbook.com +2 Rarist.org +2 Glowing Star Uncirculated/Mint State/High-Grade Examples. A mint state, 1940 penny, well-preserved, little to nowhere, might be worth a few dollars, often $2 to $4 for lower-range MS grades. Cointrackers.com +2 Yuzukanbook.com +2 More pristine coins, especially ones with the desirable red color, less toning/oxidation, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN, fetch more, sometimes $5 to $20 plus depending on color and grade. Numismatics 101 +2 Cointrackers.com +2 Trophy Rare and Proof/Collector Grade/Error coins, where value jumps. Proof or cameo coins, rare and carefully minted, from 1940, when in top condition, can be very valuable. Some have sold for hundreds to thousands of dollars. U.S. coins value +2 Coinvaluelookup.com +2 For example, certain high-grade proof-like coins, or coins with deep red surfaces, perfect strike, no wear, can reach hundreds or even thousands at auction. Coinvaluelookup.com +2 Numismatics 101 +2 Error coins, coins with minting mistakes, off-center strike, broad strike, planchet flaws, etc., have sold for elevated prices compared to regular coins. U.S. coins value +2 Coinvaluechecker +2 Important context. According to a recent value guide, 2025, a standard 1940 wheat penny, unless it's extremely well preserved or a special variety, is usually worth between 35 cents to about $36.62 in the common range. Cointrackers.com But that doesn't mean your penny might not be a hidden gem. In rare cases, special coins have fetched far more, highlighting how condition, mint mark, color, and rarity dramatically influence worth. Direct hit why some people claim 1940 pennies are worth a lot, and the reality. You may have heard dramatic claims. This penny is worth hundreds of thousands, or a simple 1940 penny could make you rich. Those stories stem from a mix of truth, exaggeration, and occasional rare exceptions. Here's how to tell myth from reality. Why heavy checkmark rarity and condition matter more than age. 1940 was a high mintage year. Hundreds of millions of coins were produced, so common ones are not rare. That's why many sell for only cents or a few dollars. LincolnWheatpenny.com +2 Cointrackers.com +2 White heavy checkmark color and preservation are key. Coins that still have original, red, surfaces, less tarnish, tend to be far more valuable than dark, worn brown coins. Cointrackers.com +2 Numismatics 101 +2 White heavy checkmark proof and error coins are the real gold mines. If you have a proof strike coin, or a coin with a documented minting error, those are the ones serious collectors seek. They're rare, often exist in small quantities, and sometimes can command high prices. U.S. coins value +2 Coinvaluelookup.com +2 Warning: most coins remain common. The vast majority of 1940 pennies were basic circulation strikes. Without excellent preservation or rare features, they remain common and hold only modest value. In short, yes, a 1940 wheat penny can be worth a lot. But only under very specific conditions. Adult light bulb. If you found a 1940 penny, what should you do now? Check the mint mark. No mark, Philadelphia, D, Denver, or S, San Francisco. Knowing the mint helps narrow down value range. Examine the color and condition. Is the penny bright red or dull brown? Is there heavy wear, scratches, corrosion, or is it crisp and sharp? Coins that retain original red coloring and strong details are more desirable. Look for errors or unusual features. Off-center strike, broad strike, double strikes, unusual toning or planchet flaws can make coins far rarer and more valuable. Consider grading and professional evaluation if you think you might have a high-grade or rare variety. A grading service or experienced coin collector could help you establish authenticity and value. Do not attempt to clean or polish aggressively. Cleaning may damage the coin's surface and dramatically reduce collector value. Sparkle's final thoughts. Why the 1940 wheat penny still captures hearts and wallets. The 1940 wheat penny is more than a 1-cent piece of metal. It's a relic of mid-20th century America. A quiet witness to a bygone era. Pre-World War II daily life. Change jingling in pockets, coins passed hand to hand, and slowly turning brown through decades. To the casual observer, it might just be a penny worth nothing more than face value. But to the patient collector, to the history lover, to the person who knows how to spot shine, strike detail, mint marks, errors, it could be a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. So next time you find a dusty old penny from 1940, take a closer look. You might be holding more than just metal, you might be holding history. And maybe, just maybe, a small treasure. If you like, I can write you 2 to 3 full versions of a YouTube script for 1940 wheat pennies. A shorter, punchy version, 4 to 5 minutes, for quick and engaging viewing. A detailed documentary-style version, 8 to 10 minutes, with lots of history and collector info. Mythbuster version that focuses on debunking overhyped value claims. Do you want me to draft those for you now? Today we dive deep into the fascinating story of one such coin, the 1957 D. Lincoln wheat penny. Maybe the coin sitting in your pocket or old coin collection is more valuable than you ever imagined. Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know why this humble penny has captured the attention of collectors, and how it can fetch surprising money under the right conditions. Part 1. What is the 1957 D. wheat penny? The 1957 D. wheat penny was minted in Denver in 1957, D, standing for the Denver Mint mark under the date. That year, the mint struck a staggering 1,051,342,000 of these coins, one of the highest single mint outputs in the wheat penny series. Usercanbook.com +2 Pembaston.com +2 made from bronze, 95% copper, with a bit of tin and zinc. The coin weighs about 3.11 grams and measures roughly 19 millimeters in diameter. Usercanbook.com. On the front obverse is the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, the first U.S. coin to feature a real president, and on the back, reverse, are 2 wheat stalks, giving it the name wheat penny. This design was used from 1909 to 1958. The 1957 D penny belongs to that final generation of wheat pennies. Because of its huge mintage, most 1957 D wheat pennies are common today, and many remain in circulated condition. Part 2. Condition matters. From pocket change to collectible treasure, here's where things get interesting. The value of a 1957 D penny depends dramatically on its condition, tone, and how well it was preserved. For most circulated pennies, those rattling around in jars, old wallets or coin collections, typical values are small, often just a few cents, maybe 1 to 3 cents, sometimes up to 15 to 20 cents, depending on how worn they are. LincolnWheatpenny.com +2 Cointrackers.com +2 But when a penny is uncirculated, mint state, with sharp details and original luster intact, things change. There are different color designations collectors use: red RD, bright original copper, red-brown, RB, partial luster, and brown, BN, darkened over time. Red coins are the most desirable and valuable. LincolnWepenny.com +2 Pembaston.com +2 According to recent value guides, a high-grade 1957 D and MS65, mint state with good strike and luster, might fetch modest premiums. Rarest.org +2 Userkinbook.com +2 for coins graded even higher, especially those retaining a full RD, red color and sharp detail. The value can go up significantly. Some experts list impressive ranges for top-quality coins. Rarest.org +2 CoinValueLookup.com +2 But, and this is critical, the vast majority of 1957 D wheat pennies out there are common, well-worn, and don't fetch big money. Part 3. So, is it really worth $42, or even more? Let's talk market and reality. You might have heard stories or seen videos claiming, this 1957 penny is worth hundreds or thousands. Or maybe you heard $42. But what does actual data say? According to a widely used reference, average circulating 1957 D pennies are valued at about 15 cents. Cointrackers.com +1 uncirculated pieces, depending on grade and color, might go up, but usually only modestly unless they are in exceptional condition. Userkinbook.com +2 LincolnWepenny.com +2 Some sources suggest that only very rare, top-grade specimens, with brilliant red color, perfect strike, and no wear, stand out. There are scattered reports of coins in near-perfect condition commanding strong prices, especially if professionally graded. Rarest.org +2 Pembaston.com +2 Therefore, yes, a well-preserved 1957 D might fetch significantly more than face value, but the vast majority are not. Jackpot coins. If yours is worn, scratched or discolored, it's more or less worth pennies. If someone told you they saw a 1957 D for $42, that's possible. If and only if the coin was in excellent condition, uncirculated, nice tone, maybe graded. But $42 should be considered on the high side for an everyday coin, and very optimistic for a circulated one. Part 4. What makes a 1957 D penny special, and what to look for. So what should you look for if you want to know whether your 1957 D penny might be valuable? Here are the red flags, but in the good sense. Mint mark, D, under the date, confirms it's 1957 D from Denver. That's normal. The Denver Mint struck over $1 billion that year. Userkinbook.com +1 Original color, RD, bright copper without dark brown patina. A coin that still has that original red brassy look can be much more attractive to collectors. Sharp detail / full strike, cleanly struck cheek, hair detail, wheat stalks on the reverse clearly visible, no wear or flattening. No cleaning, scratches or post-mint damage. Cleaning dramatically lowers value, as does corrosion, dents, or heavy wear. Professional grading, optional but helpful. If you suspect the coin might be high grade, having it graded by a reputable grading service can help. Verify authenticity, condition and ultimately value, though that comes with cost and effort. If your penny ticks a few of these boxes, especially color plus strike plus preservation, then you might have a collectible worth showing off, or even selling. But if not, treat it as a neat piece of history, not a cash cow. Part 5. History and Significance. Why collectors still care. Why does the 1957 D wheat penny matter, even though millions were minted? Because it's part of the final generation of wheat pennies, a design that ran from 1909 to 1958. The wheat reverse and Lincoln obverse design remind us of a bygone era in U.S. coinage. Even common coins provide a strong baseline for collectors, enthusiasts, beginners and advanced collectors often build typesets, 1 penny from each year, each mint, each variation. For collectors who enjoy varieties, errors, or high-grade coins, 1957 D may offer opportunities. Rarities like perfect uncirculated, original color, and excellent strike make for interesting additions, particularly if graded. It connects to more than just money. The coin is a small artifact of American history, manufacturing, design, and everyday life in the mid-20th century. Holding it is like holding a tiny fragment of that past. Part 6. My honest conclusion and advice to you, as a collector or viewer. Here's the truth. Most 1957 wheat pennies are common and inexpensive. They're usually not worth more than a few cents, or maybe $1 or $2, especially if worn. If you expect to find a get-rich-quick coin in your pocket change, you'll probably be disappointed. But, and this is important, don't let that discourage you. The value in collecting coins isn't always money. For many, it's nostalgia, history, the thrill of the hunt, and the joy of owning a well-preserved piece of the past. If you ever find a 1957 that looks exceptionally nice, original red color, crisp strike, no wear, consider showing it to a coin collecting expert, or even getting it professionally graded. That's where the real stories begin. And even if it turns out to be just a regular penny, that's fine too. It's still a small piece of history, a conversation starter, and a reminder, sometimes, the smallest things carry the richest stories. Outro, call to action. So what should you do now? Dig out those old jars, look through coins from drawers, piggy banks, or ancient change collections. You might have a hidden gem. If you find a 1957 wheat penny, inspect it closely. Is the coin bright, sharp, unworn? If yes, hold on to it. If not, it still makes a great story to tell. If you're curious to learn more about rare Lincoln pennies, mint errors, or coins from other eras, let me know. I'd love to take you on a journey through the fascinating world of coin collecting. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Who knows, you might just find value where you least expect it. If you like, I can write a full ready-to-read video script with timestamps, narration cues, camera direction, and B-roll notes for this coin. This style works great for YouTube and makes filming/editing smoother. Do you want me to build that for you now?